To get started, I'd like to tell you a little bit about my company. I started Cassandra Brand Design in 2009 out of the basement of my home, but today we're lucky enough to have a beautiful office in Delano, Wichita. Our services include branding and marketing collateral, custom website design and development, digital marketing, search engine optimization, and social media management. I have an amazing team that I get to work with every day, along with some really cute office animals. So today we're here to talk about growing your business with digital marketing. The areas that we're going to cover are search engine marketing, local business optimization, search engine optimization, and social media marketing. So the first thing that I like to talk about whenever we are talking about digital marketing is starting from where the client or potential customer is starting. And normally the first thing that they do is they go to Google and they search for your service or for your company name. So the search results page, also known as SERP or SERP, if you want to be fancy when you're talking to somebody as a marketer, looks like this. I'm sure this is very familiar to you all, but I wanted to cover the different areas of opportunity that we have here. Up at the top, you'll see that there are search text ads. And so basically that's the search engine marketing part. You can pay to be up at the top for any key term in any area. The second area is local business optimization. These are free listings that everybody should be taking advantage of. And the last part of the search engine results page are organic results. And this is based on how well your site is search engine optimized. Something to remember on this page is that this landscape can change daily. It can change from where the person is searching from, and it can also change from what your competitors are doing. So this is a living, breathing page that you should always be taking notice of and checking back on, because all digital marketing is a living project that you have to continuously nurture to get the results that you're looking for. So let's dive into search engine marketing. What you need to know about search engine marketing is that Google Ads is really owning this domain. So if you'd like to be present, say you have a business that's been in business for a while, but you have a new service, or you're just looking to increase your leads, or you're a brand new business, this is an amazing opportunity for you guys to immediately be up at the top. We do not advertise for the example that I have here, Hunter & Son Construction. However, I brought this up because I wanted to point out that anybody can do this. This to me looked like a very organic, kind of family-owned business that they put this ad on, I'm guessing, by themselves. And so really, you don't have to be an expert to place ads here. However, it always helps, of course, with your messaging and receiving the leads once they get to your site. These sometimes can feel intimidating to people because they're not quite sure how they get the ad up there and how to run those effectively. However, Google does an amazing job of walking you through it. So, the best way to learn anything is just trial and error. You should definitely get in there and just walk through the steps that Google provides you to place these ads. So to start, you would go to ads.google.com and create a business account if you don't already have one. Once you have an account and you're in the ads area, you can create a new campaign. The wonderful thing about these campaigns is that you can set your monthly budget and you're not tied into any kind of contract. And so you can start and pause at any time. You can up or lower your budget based on the ad performance. And so you're really in complete control. And there's no waste coverage like when you're doing a billboard and everybody's driving by it. The only people that are going to see your ads on Google are the people that you decide you want to see your ads. So these are extremely targeted and very effective for generating leads. On mobile, it's really important to realize that the search engine text ads take up the whole top part of the screen. So I know that a lot of marketers or business owners always say, hey, I never click on those ads. Do people really click on those ads? And the truth is yes. I mean, we wouldn't be doing them and Google wouldn't be providing these services if no. So the average person really does look at these ads, and Google really does review your website to make sure that you're legitimate and you can be advertising, because it's Google's job to serve the best result possible to the searcher, and they're always updating their algorithm. So when you place these ads up at the top, you're going to get instant top exposure, and that's very vital when you have a new business and maybe your organic rankings are a little bit lower on the page. These are great for lead generation, like I said earlier, mainly because when people are searching, they are already taking that action that they're ready to buy. They're looking for your service. And with this, if you provide a nice link to your website where they can fill out a contact form, or even have the tap to call activated right on your ad, you can instantly connect with your customers. These are pay per click. And so what that means is that views are free. You only pay for when somebody clicks on your ad. The cost per click is different for everybody because it depends on how many people are also advertising on that, so your competitors. And it also depends on what the quality of your website is. There's lots of factors that go into that. However, normally for local businesses, we usually see an average cost per click around $4 to $5. You can get that lower, of course, but then in really competitive markets like say law firms or insurance agents, those cost per clicks can get up to an average of $30 per click. So there's a lot of variety here, and there's a lot that you can do to optimize your campaign to get more clicks for less dollars. You can update your keywords at any time, and so you can advertise in different campaigns for different services, which is what I recommend. So for example, if you have Service One, you'd want to make that ad campaign all about Service One and send them to a page on your website that's all about Service One. And then you could add another campaign and advertise your second service and your third service. And in addition to that, you can also geofence. And so you can select by zip code or radius of a certain metro, a whole city, a whole state, or the whole nation, or the whole world. Really, it's up to you where you'd like to be advertised and have your ads shown. Now, of course, if you have a really large area, like the whole nation, your budget will probably need to be higher. But as you're building this ad through Google, they're going to give you a recommended budget. And so that's going to help you select what your budget should be, and then you can in live time look in at your analytics and decide if you should up or down that based on the results that you're getting. So again, extremely focused, extremely targeted. I love this because you're literally in front of the people who are looking for you, and it's not like cold calling. So we have a few tips for more conversions. You can go through and you can build your ad, and then you'll have a dashboard that Google provides to you. So when you're looking at your dashboard, there's a section for keywords, and there's also going to be a section for negative keywords. And we don't want your ad to be clicked on for something that you don't do that's similar to what you do. For example, say that you're a commercial construction company and you're running an ad in Wichita. You obviously want to come up for commercial construction companies. So maybe commercial construction is your keyword. But after you run your campaign for a little while, you go and you look at your keywords that are getting clicked on, and you notice that a lot of people are searching commercial construction average cost. Those people might not be the people that are really looking to buy right at that moment, or if you really want to make sure that you're being very kind of honed in on more of those action keywords, you can go in and you can set average cost or any kind of word that would be paired with your good word as a negative keyword. And so I think it's extremely important to add those negative keywords. For example, we are working for a commercial pavement company right now. So we built them a campaign for, paving companies, Wichita, Kansas. However, they're commercial. So as a negative keyword, we put in the word residential, driveways, different things like that we didn't want to waste our money on those clicks when those are probably not our customers. The second area that you can optimize your ads for are the time and day that they show up. So when you set a monthly budget, Google's going to try to spread that budget out over every day of the month and try to make it last most of the day. So it's really comes down to a daily budget. So if you have a lot of clicks in the morning, your ads could actually turn off in the afternoon because you've already reached your daily budget based off of your monthly budget. So what we've done is we've gone in and we've looked at when the most leads come in or when the most action or the most clicks happen. And we can actually look at that on the Google dashboard that you'll have. And we can do what's called day parting, where you can schedule your ads only to run for certain times of the day and for certain days of the week. And what that can do is that can give you more saturation during those hot times. And then the last part is just reviewing your budget. Google has all of these really helpful tooltips in the dashboard, and they're going to tell you, of course, they're normally going to tell you, hey, you should raise your budget because, of course, they want to make more money too. But they do base that on opportunity, because if there's more people searching, that your ads aren't being shown for because your budget is smaller and it's being shown like maybe 70% of the time rather than 100% of the time every time someone searches for that keyword, Google's going to tell you, hey, there's more opportunity that you're missing out on, and here's an estimated number of clicks per month that you can get for an estimated price that you would like to raise your budget to. And so I think that these are really helpful recommendations. With all of these, you have to take them with a grain of salt, of course, because you may have already received as many leads as that company can handle effectively. And so having good communication with your company or with your client's company is always best practice. So then we're getting into, where do these ads go? And a lot of people kind of think, oh, I'm just going to send them to my homepage. But I think that that's a mistake. If you send somebody to the homepage, for example, on this Legacy Bank website that we are advertising for, but they search for free checking, now that person has to go over to the personal business tab on the menu and then drop down and select checking. So they've already had to kind of look around a little bit and then make a click. And we could have lost them. People have really short attention spans. And so if they're not able to see that immediately, sometimes they might get distracted. Maybe they get a phone call and then they, get off the website and they forget what they were doing. So it's always best to lead people exactly to a page that's designed for conversions, which means having somebody take action in a way that you can record. Either they are calling or filling out a form online. Now, sometimes you have to go in for these services and that's tougher to track, but there are different ways that we can still judge success from views. So on this example, the one on, let's see, for you, it would be the one on the left, would be the landing page that we started out with. This is different from the page that is about their checking on their main website. Their main website checking page has a lot of information because there's a lot that goes on with their checking, and it needed to have a lot of keywords for the natural search engine optimization. But that's just too busy. When people are really looking to take action, you want to make your landing pages short, simple, and lead them to what you want them to do. And so we compressed this checking page into a landing page. That's a unique page that people go to from the ad. So they're seeing something different than if somebody had just went to their website through an organic result. We like to have a simple, engaging headline, and then put your features and benefits right up at the top because you want to give them the what it is, the benefits of choosing your service, and then how to take action. And so we had this little request an appointment or ask a question sticky red button over in the corner. And that really made an uptick in the leads. So once we added that, because you should continuously be looking at your landing page and going, how can I make this better? Or testing it against another landing page and seeing which one has better results, and then making a change like once a month. You don't want to do this every day because you need to have enough data to compare. But that's the landing page that we started out with. And then if you look at the one next to it that has the Wichita Flag magazine at the header image, that one was an updated one that we did about 60 days later after we let this first one run. And we made some changes to this because I looked at the demographics, and it was a younger demographic that was going to the page. And of course, they're all from Wichita. And I wanted to make it more localized. I wanted to bring them in and have kind of that like cool leather chair where you can kind of see the rug and you see that Wichita flag, and really just make them feel more engaged, like they could take action. So we tested a different image up top. We tested a different image with the ATM photo that you see lower down. And then we moved those call to action buttons to the very kind of front center of the page so that those would be really easy to click on, so we could track if one of the location buttons was clicked on. And we could also track if the get started button was clicked on. That sent them to a short form to request an appointment to open an account. We also increased the benefit visual aspect with the icons, but we reduced the number of benefits. So we picked the top 3 that people were giving us feedback on that were more important to them and pulled those up to the top. And then we went along with more benefits that set Legacy apart from their competitors. So think about something that's different about your company from your competitors. Look at their ads, look at their landing pages, and try to display something that could persuade the visitor to do business with you rather than the competitor. So Legacy has a really cool program about a rewards card that comes with all of their checking accounts where they can get discounts at local businesses. And so we added this to the landing page and immediately the leads went up. So it's always important to keep an eye on these things and don't be afraid to make changes. All right, the second type of Google ads that you can do are retargeting display ads. So these are a great way to build brand awareness. They're more visual. Well, they're all visual. So basically what you do is you add retargeting in your Google's dashboard, and then Google has a really cool little ad builder. So you don't even have to be a graphic designer. You basically just need photos and headlines and where to send the ad, and then you can put it together in Google's ad builder. And these websites appear on other websites that have ad space, and there are hundreds of thousands of these. There are many blogs, or like this one, the kusports.com, which is normally up at my house. And these ads are the ones that I have the little blue arrows pointing to that will rotate. Now, these normally follow the searcher for up to 30 days. So if somebody searched for one of your keywords and then they went to HGTV or the Weather Channel or maybe even Kansas.com, they will see your ads sprinkled in on the sidebar, sometimes throughout the article. And it's a really nice visual way to remind them, hey, we're still here, and get them to click and come back to your website. These are charged differently from the text ads. These are pay per view. And so these you really are paying for views. So normally you set this budget at about 30% of your monthly budget. So if your monthly text budget is $1,000, then you could set aside $300 in addition to do retargeting. I will just full disclosure say that these are great for, again, brand awareness, but they're not direct lead generators. If we ever are a client that needs to be really cautious with their budget or just wants to make sure that their campaign overall is more lead focused and people already know who they are, then we usually just do text ads. If you can do retargeting ads in addition, that's great. But as a marketer, it is harder to show results from these because not as many people click on them because they didn't come to this website to see your ad. They came to the website to read the content. And then this is kind of just a nice reminder. This is a screenshot of the search engine marketing dashboard that Google provides. And so they have really robust reporting. At a glance, it could look a little bit overwhelming, but it has some really great information. Up at the top, you're able to change your date range. You can see how many clicks, how many impressions, which are views, how many conversions, which are basically people either calling or filling out a form. Because when you set up your ad, it gives you a little piece of code that you give to your web people to put on a thank you page. So then you can attribute those form submissions to your actual ad campaign. And so that's really great when you're working with a company that is very responsive. Like with our web company, we always are very active on making sure that all the tracking codes are in there properly. But it is pretty simple, and they guide you through how to get those tracking codes in there. So don't be afraid to ask your web company or get into that code file and insert that text, because that's going to be how you can validate the success of the campaign. You can access it any time. You can also automate email reports. And so that's really great because sometimes you get really busy. And even though you want to check in on it every day or once a week, you might not have as much time for that. And so if you have these email reports, it can remind you, hey, I need to get back in there and see how this campaign is going, and making sure that we're not spending too much money on certain keywords or needing to add a negative keyword because some random keywords, activating clicks. So this is an example of Southwestern Remodeling's ad campaign for a 30-day period. And this was from February of this month. So you can see here that they spent about $2,000 and they received 415 clicks and 7,000 views and 31 leads. And so that's a great cost for how many opportunities they had. They could have also had calls, but these conversions are form submissions, so leads on people wanting to get their house remodeled. But of those clicks, people could have called as well. So that's 400 different opportunities that you got to introduce your company to people looking for your services. So that's only 30 cents a view, about $5 a click, and about $65 per lead. So this is a great place to go and get a overall health grade of how your campaign is running. The second section we're going to cover is local business optimization. So these are the map listings that everybody's familiar with in Google, and sometimes going, why aren't mine showing up? And the simple answer is that because Google does get to do what they would like to do. And so they are going to randomize these somewhat, but most likely the businesses that are closer to where the searcher is are going to show up at the top. Usually there's 3 to 5 that show up underneath the map view. So proximity matters, and also reviews matter. And so it's very important to encourage your customers to leave positive reviews, because the more that your reviews are built up, the more likely you are to have a higher position in this area. The text engine ads from Google also appear in this area. So that's really great because you could be at the top of the search engine results if you're advertising. Then you could also be in this area organically, so just by creating this profile, or with an ad. So you can get a couple of placements on the search engine results page by using these profiles. These are free, so everybody should have one. Again, it's really straightforward to go and sign up for. I will kind of whiz through this because I would assume that most of you guys have set these up. And Google also has really great tools. If you go to google.com/business, you can sign up, complete your profile, and then they will go through a verification process so that not anybody can say that they are you. Normally this is done with a phone call where you insert a little code. So you want to be at that place of business that you list as the phone number, or sometimes it's a postcard that you get a code and then you insert it a week or 2 later. So what's important to know on these is that you should definitely fill out the profile in its entirety and include keywords in your about content. So it gives you a little about description. Make sure to repeat some of your services in that area because it will help with you showing up in the results area. Also, make sure to do your hours, your address, and your name as it really appears so that way you have consistency on your brand and how your name is appearing throughout the internet. This is a very popular place for people to click. A lot of people really love doing business with local and also trust this section. So the ads really, or not the ads, I'm sorry, the reviews really help with this as well. But these get 44% of the clicks on the first page. And so definitely something to prioritize on making sure it's up to date and that your profile really is filled out in its entirety. You can review or receive Google reviews. People can click to call you straight from this section. So that's a free call. They can get directions, and then they even have a new messaging system where they can send you an instant message if you have that app on a smartphone at your office. And so that's a great way to connect with your customers for free. As with the AdWords, they also have really great reporting tools. So these are really great and free, and I encourage everybody to use the Google My Business profiles. Our next section is search engine optimization. So this is going to weigh heavily on how your site is built. This is what our team specializes at Cassandra Bryan Design. We put search engine optimization into the core of every website that we build because it's really important for you to have these free placements on Google. They're more at the bottom of the search result page, so that's why it is important to also advertise. An effective digital marketing plan is made up of several different pieces: text ads, local business optimization, and search engine optimization. So when you are searching for a particular phrase, like Wichita Construction Company, you will notice that the clients or the websites that come up normally have that within the title of their website. And so it is important to include those keywords in the title and meta description of your website. If you're not sure what that means, then just go to Google and Google your company name or service that you'd like to come up for and look at your result. And if you don't see it in the big blue line or the little gray text, contact your web developer and say, hey, how can I update my title and meta description? And they can help you with that. Or if you know what title and meta descriptions are, go in there and, update those and then check your rankings a week or two later and see if that improved your results. A lot of people will be surprised that some websites don't even have keywords in the meta description, and it's just kind of a random jumbling, of words, kind of like this bottom result for the business journals where it's pulling in addresses and different things. That should be overwritten with an actual description for that page. So that's why we really like WordPress websites, because there's a section in the back end per page that says title, description, keyword, and you fill it in and it makes it really easy. So to review the different website ranking factors, there are several, but I have the top ones listed here. First one would be quality content offering real value. So on your website, you need to make sure that you're building that for customers to be able to find the valid information that they're looking for, not just photos or not just a bunch of text. You need to make sure it's a nice balance that says, hey, this is what we do, this is why you should choose us, and here's some examples, and here's our contact information. So try to kind of look at your website from a customer's standpoint and say, hey, does this really answer all my questions, or does this lead me to want to do business with you? And that's going to go into a good user experience. Was it easy to find that information? Was it hard to find the phone number? Ask yourself that. Or get somebody that's a friend or family member to look at the website and kind of watch how they interact with it and take notes, and then use that feedback to improve your website. Other factors that are more technical that do affect rankings are mobile responsiveness. And so your website needs to be built and look great on mobile. That means the mobile menu button needs to be big enough to click on, that the text doesn't run off the page, that it loads quickly. Secure websites also rank better. And so what that is it's more on the hosting side. It's kind of techie, but it's really important. So don't glaze over that. You need to see if you have an SSL certificate. They're normally only about $50 a year. And basically what it does when you install it on the hosting account is it encrypts the information that goes through your website. That tells Google that you're taking an extra step to make sure that your visitors' information is secure. It'll take 10 minutes to install, and it can help your site rise higher to the top. I see a lot of websites that I click on, and up in the address bar it says not trusted, and my heart just sinks. I'm like, oh, that's so easy to fix. Why aren't they doing that? So that's a little tip that I would definitely go and check your website and see if next to your domain where it says like www.cassandrabryan.com, does it say secure or does it say not secure? If it does say not secure, contact your hosting company and install an SSL certificate. You also need to have good reputation and backlinks. And so Google somewhat is a popularity contest. The more websites that like you, the more likely you are to get to the top. And so what that means is if you have a bunch of articles on, say, the Wichita Eagle, and they're linking to your website or talking about your company, that's going to build your presence online. And so it's great to get press. It's also great to, maybe do a testimonial video for another company and ask for a link back to your website, or, get featured on somebody's social media, because that plays into it as well. And then that can help you rise to the top. So making sure that those are quality websites that are linking back to your website will help your rankings. And then, of course, include keywords that the user is searching. Sometimes people's business name doesn't include the services that they provide, and that's okay. That's really common. However, you still want to make sure that you're including keywords of your services in your title and in your meta description. So, for example, if you search Wichita Construction Company, that one that I outlined up there, Porch.com, their meta title tag is Wichita Construction Company, so they're more likely to come up for it. They also have that in their meta description. You can see that with most of these. EB Construction, they're one of our clients. Their full name is EB Construction, so of course we put that first, but then we did a little divider and then we put Wichita Construction Company in their title tag because we wanted to make sure that if people searched Wichita Construction Company that they would come up. And so it's small changes that can make a big difference. There are also several tools that you can utilize, and these are some of the tools that we use internally when we are monitoring search engine optimization or we're grading a website after we launch it to make sure that it has all the proper keywords in the proper places. The name of this website from the report card is not in it, so I'll spell that out. It's Moz, M-O-Z, like Mother Oliver Zoom. And they have an on-page grader that's a free tool that you can go to. They also have a lot of other great resources. They have a wonderful blog, so you should check them out if you're interested in learning more about SEO. But you can put in your website link, and then you can put in your keyword or keyword phrase, and then click Analyze, and it'll give you a report card. And it's super helpful because it's going to pinpoint what's hurting your score with these little expanders where you can read more on how to fix it. And then it will also show you what's helping your score. And so it's near impossible to get 100% because at that point you're probably keyword stuffing, and then your website's going to sound like it was written for robots instead of people. And so you want to make sure you have a nice balance. But sometimes it's hard for people to get keywords into their homepage because you don't want to have big titles that just say construction, construction, construction. You want to have them more beautiful, like building a better tomorrow. And so one of the things that we do is we actually code our headlines to be smaller. And you can see that down above the title, who we are, it says Wichita Construction Company. On the back end, we have that tagged as a headline. And so now the robots are reading it as a headline, but the humans are seeing the nice, beautiful headlines. So that's, again, something that you can ask your web company about if they can do that. And that will help you as a marketer work well with your development company to get the results that you're looking for. And again, that website that has the tool is Moz, Moz.com. We have a professional account that you can pay for, and it's definitely worth it. So if you are thinking about that, maybe go month to month to test it out because they have a lot of great reports and you can even analyze competitors. So I definitely recommend that website. For ongoing content updates, because search engine optimization is a game that never ends, you can't just make a beautiful website, launch it, and then expect it to rank for the next 6 months, year, 5 years. It's something that you have to constantly be putting work into. But that's okay because that can be really great content that you can also share on your social media. And so how we optimize a lot of the sites that we work for is by adding blog articles. We normally base these on keywords that we want to come up for, but also add helpful information. So they can be news articles, they can be educational, they can answer frequently asked questions, they can feature certain clients or videos or reviews. And normally what we do is about 2 a month per city. So if you want to be optimized in certain locations, it's better to hone in on a particular city first. So if you're in the Midwest, maybe say, hey, I want to focus on Wichita for these 3 months. And then I'm going to nurture Omaha. Then I'm going to do Kansas City. But you want to make sure that you see traction before you start a new city, because then you're just diluting your efforts and you're going to be moving 1,000 directions an inch at a time rather than making progress. So it's really important to, when you're writing these articles, include keywords in your title because that's going to go into the URL. So that's going to be the link, which Google reads. When you're naming your image, this is something a lot of people will just forget to do or not know that it matters, but it does. Put the keywords in the image file. So if we're optimizing for home remodeling, then this image should be named home-remodeling-Wichita dining room.jpg. Then make sure that you fill in the alt tag, which is basically on the back end of your website when you're uploading your picture. Again, if you use WordPress, there's a little field that pops up that says alt tag, and put that keyword in there too. And then include keywords in your text. Normally we try to include the keyword phrase in a subtitle or the content at least 3 more times. And then that's going to create a very optimized article that's going to add a door to your website. So as you're adding articles, say you add 2 per month, you're adding 2 more doors to your website every single month. And it turns into this awesome snowball effect so that Google sees you as an industry leader because you have all of these resources and that there's more doors in for your customers to find you. And like I said, you can also share these on social media. And so it becomes, killing 2 birds with 1 stone because a lot of people are going, what do I share on social media? So the other tough thing about updating content and writing articles is finding inspiration, because you're like, what can I write about again, after you've been doing that for a while? And I think the best way to get ideas is to literally Google what you'd like to come up for, and then on a national level, because you can gain inspiration from sites all over the US, and then click on the articles that come up near the top, because obviously they're doing something right, and kind of take notes and say, how can I make this my own? Does this apply to my business? And create a system. So maybe you do 1 article per month that's on a different service, and then maybe you do 1 article per month that's focusing on a client or focusing on something that's happened in your office. And then schedule that. We always schedule our articles in 3 to 6 month periods of time, and we normally write them all at once because nobody keeps up with writing a monthly. That's just something that everybody has the best intentions for, but just doesn't happen. So I think it's really important to make sure that you plan ahead and you also have your content ready to go so you can schedule those postings. The final part of our talk today is social media marketing. So with social media marketing, there are several platforms that you can use. I'm sure you're all familiar with most of these. Facebook is near the top or at the top. YouTube, Facebook Messenger, WhatsApp app, Instagram. As you can see, there are different choices that you have. However, it's impossible to put your energy into all of these, and also probably wouldn't make sense because your customers are on all of these. So it's best to pick the ones that more of your customers are on. And normally that comes down to Facebook, Instagram, and LinkedIn. Facebook is an amazing, easy to use tool that I know everybody is familiar with. So I won't spend much time on here, but I did want to give you some ideas on how regularly you should post to Facebook and what you should post about. Facebook is more of a casual environment. It's to build this culture up because your website should be more professional. And so Facebook is where people can go to, get a sense of, hey, what's happening this week? What's their culture like? Because I might want to work there. So sharing photos of your team in your office is highly encouraged. You can share pages from your website so you're driving traffic back to your website. Your Facebook postings should always have a purpose. And so telling them what you want them to do when you're linking to your website will help that happen more. Instead of just throwing out the picture and going, hey, here's a pretty deck, why not then say, and click on this link to go to our deck page and view more photos and request, a consultation. So make sure that it has purpose. You can also do, of course, photos of clients and projects. You can run promotions or contests. We've had a lot of success with these with giveaways for our clients to build up brand recognition. You can share tips and frequently asked questions. So with your social media, you should also have a plan. You should say, hey, I'm going to post twice a week, or I'm going to post 4 times a week, and then make sure that you are planning what type of post so that way your posts are varied in content, and that you're also making ones that have actions attached to them. Instagram. So Instagram, it's my favorite platform. I really love just looking through all the pictures, and it's a great way to build a visual brand presence for your business. So this one is one that, again, is more casual than your website, but to me it's more of a beautiful platform. You don't want to post like necessarily a fuzzy screenshot or a badly taken photo. I feel like it's important to make your Instagram feed all look very kind of seamless and beautiful as you scroll through it. You should have a certain, filter that you put on each photo, or that you never use a filter. A certain style is really what you can use to develop even more of an artsy image of your brand. On Instagram, now that it's partnered with Facebook, you can actually run ads through Instagram and Facebook at the same time. So that's really helpful. And you can also share videos. I think short testimonial videos are great. and special event photos. So I think it's always nice when you can include more than one photo here. It's harder to attribute leads to Instagram if you're not advertising because people can't click on the post. So if we have a business that doesn't have all the time in the world or a lot of pictures to share, we will focus more on Facebook and say, hey, maybe we can start Instagram next year or tackle that when we have the content for it. You don't have to be on all these platforms. Choose the one that works best for you and then focus your energy on that one. It's better to be great at one than average at a couple. LinkedIn is my new kind of business favorite platform because we receive a lot of quality interactions and leads for our clients through LinkedIn. So if you haven't explored LinkedIn yet, definitely do. Make sure that you have a business LinkedIn page and make sure that that stays more professional. So that can be something that's more, professional pictures of your team, project photos, client testimonials, because it's kind of a who's who on there too. People are connected. They want to see what other business professionals are doing that they respect. And so if you can tag other, your clients' names in those testimonials, that can help gain you exposure, of course. This is also a great place, obviously, for career opportunities. And so I would definitely encourage you to post all your careers here and then maybe even utilize their ads for advertising careers. They are a little bit pricier on LinkedIn. They're the most proud platform for social media advertising. But do a test campaign, run it for 2 or 4 weeks and see if it works for you. We've had really great results for it. YouTube is a complimentary social media platform that you can post videos on, obviously. But the great thing about having a YouTube channel is that it gives a library of all of your videos. So some companies just upload videos to Facebook, and that's great, but it's limiting your opportunity. If you would upload your video first to YouTube and make sure that you put in a optimized title and description of your video, and then share the YouTube video on Facebook, Instagram, or your website, then you are going to get more exposure because YouTube videos come up in Google search engine page results. And so when somebody searches for your company, they can now be getting a result that's your website and then maybe like a list of small videos that you've done, and you're just gaining more real estate on that search result page. It also is really helpful if you have a link to YouTube from your website, because then people can go, oh, hey, I like this video, but I wonder where all of them are. If you don't have a video gallery on your site and you just have, videos embedded in certain service areas, I think it's really nice where they can click on a YouTube link in your footer or your header and then go and view all of those videos. YouTube's also great because it's really shareable, and so it's easy for your content to be shared with even more people if they watched your video and they wanted to share it. I don't have a personal Facebook account, so when people send me Facebook videos, I'm always like, how am I going to watch this? It's a little bit, tricky to click on through my phone. I have to verify I'm a human. But if they sent me a YouTube link, everybody can use YouTube because it works on every browser, mobile, desktop. It plays your videos faster than just uploading them directly to your website. So there's lots of different reasons to use YouTube, and there's lots of things that you can do with it, as you can see in the list here on the screen. So a lot of people will ask, how often should my business post? Well, if you read online, a lot of the articles are going to say every day, but I think that you also have to be realistic. And I think doing 1 to 2 posts a week as a business is very sufficient, because as a business, when customers are following you, they don't want to be inundated with your postings, and they don't want to feel like they're always advertisements. And so try to make your postings more engaging and a little less salesy. You want to definitely let them know what you do, but you don't want it to be like sale, sale, sale all the time. You want to have a nice balance. So definitely make sure that you post on those national and trending holidays. It seems a little bit silly, but they actually get a ton of traction. And so that's an easy thing to do. Definitely share articles from your website and use hashtags. You can get a lot more exposure by people that are searching by hashtags than you would if you did not use them. So add in as many hashtags as you can think of. There's no limit to those. There are different management softwares that you can use that are really helpful. One of them is Hootsuite. This is one that's really affordable, and so it's really great because it puts all of your social media comments and news, and you can schedule postings in one place. It is really hard to do those, on the spot, because then your consistency could go down if you get really busy. So this is great because you can schedule your postings to multiple platforms all at once and make sure that your schedule stays consistent. Another one is Agora Pulse. I wanted to throw this in there because this is the one that we use. And the reason why we like this, if you're a marketer that works on multiple businesses, or maybe your business has several locations, this is going to be a great one for you guys to utilize. The Hootsuite doesn't allow you to add as many profiles or as many locations into it. So it's a little bit pricier, but it's amazing. And I know that our marketing director and graphic designer can add postings to this to each other, and then Justine, my marketing director, can add the caption, and then Briar can add the graphic, and then she can approve it. So it really helps with our workflow to keep everything going when you're managing several businesses and several social media platforms. Okay, so not everybody's a graphic designer, and that's all right. There are lots of really cool tools out there these days. One of the ones that's really easy to use for anybody is Canva. And so I would recommend starting a Canva account. It's really affordable. There's a free version as well. You can upload your logo, and then you have access to tons of stock photos. They will generate the image at different sizes for different social media platforms. And you can even make animated images or movies. So this is really great because there's nothing worse than getting to somebody's social media page and seeing half of the graphic cut off on the sides or the top. This can kind of take that sizing difficulty out of the picture and help you produce really professional looking graphics for your social media. Facebook boosted posts are something that I would highly recommend. Facebook is not showing as many organic posts that are not paid for to your entire audience. And so a way to add visibility to your postings would be to boost it. And I have a couple examples here. One is for an industrial compliance company that we advertise for, and their content natively is really dry, and people are like, oh yeah, I want to read about a safety audit. Said no one. So what we try to do, because it's such an important topic and the customer has a great sense of humor, is we are experimenting with different types of fun memes that look more organic, that are funny, so they'll catch people's attention and make them stop and say, hey, I want to read this. So the graphic is one part of it, but the boosting is another. So on this first one where we see the Spider-Man, this was boosted for $70, and it was seen by over 7,000 people and had 169 engagements. Then in comparison to one that was not boosted at a similar time, only reached 52 people and had 2 engagements, because Facebook is not putting your post in the newsfeed of even your fans and followers as much these days. They are really wanting you to pay to play. So I think it's better to post a couple times a week or once a week and boost that post than be posting every day and have nobody seeing it. You can also run Facebook ad campaigns. So this is separate from boosting. The boosted posts show up in your timeline, but are on your page timeline. Facebook ad campaigns do not. These are ads that are run that you can be more particular by setting your audience. And so you can choose locations, gender, interest, ages, and then you can create an ad. So they're kind of like the Google text ads, so that these show up in then the news feeds of people that you've selected. And these are really great for running ads for services or acquiring applications. The example that we have here is for Southwestern Remodeling. They were looking for a office administrator, and they spent $250 on their ad budget, which is way cheaper than going to like monster.com and spending $500 a month. And they were able to target the individuals that they wanted to select, which is great because some of the people who you're looking for might already be working and not looking for a job. So they might not be on those career hiring websites because they're, at work just plugging away. But this can get in front of your potential candidates visually, and they received 36 applications and had 132 clicks to their website. LinkedIn ad campaigns are another great way that you can hone in and target to specific individuals. LinkedIn, unlike Facebook or Instagram, will let you advertise to specific people based on their education, their job title, their industry, and their company name and size. So you could actually hone in to advertise to a specific company of individuals or a specific job title, such as business owners, like we did for Legacy Bank on this. So we advertised to business owners in the Wichita area, which is something that Facebook wouldn't allow us to do because you cannot advertise to a specific job title or company. And they were able to receive 1,300 views for their ad, 13 clicks, and 3.4% engagement, which is really high for a social media ad campaign. And so on this one, we did an interactive ad that was a carousel of slides, and each one of the slides linked to a different page on their website that explained that service. And so LinkedIn is a great way to really get in front of specific people with specific job titles. So that wraps up our presentation for today. I would just like to say thank you for listening, and I hope that you were able to have some great takeaways from this that will help you with all of your marketing campaigns. And wanted to do a small plug here. Again, we are Cassandra Bryan Design. We're a Google partner, and there are several advantages to hiring a professional. However, don't let that intimidate you to getting in there and just experimenting. You won't break anything. Just start out with one platform and then move to the next. And if you ever have any questions, you can always reach out to us on our website, CassandraBryan.com. Thank you so much.